Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn it G. All by his bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn it G. All by his bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm first green ballin', trying to get my bread long. You know the game gone and my mind been blown. Different decisions that I done made got me fucked up now. Still gon' thug the life I'm living, still gon' hold this shit down. Every day of my life, yeah, nigga chasing cheese. And the same niggas that be around there won't see off your feet. My mama been doing bad, but I ain't going into that. I done picked that girl up when I caught my first package. I be damn, me and my people hurting for something for a day. That shit happened, the next man ain't getting nothing. Faded the root of evil, and that's my damn best friend. I put that on my life, ain't nobody gon' fuck with him. You try to jam it, yeah, that ass getting chopped. Trying to serve ain't got no business on my block, I bet you're getting chopped. Now either way you try to fuck with my pockets, don't believe that ass getting chopped. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn it G. All by his bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burn it G. All by his bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm all up by my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm back in the mix. Them flaky niggas better stand down. Came home, got me some yam, I'm the man now. Niggas, some bitches all from my face, I ain't know who it is. Everybody up from my mix like I'm a hero and shit. Fall back, I'll buy a brick. Right now I'm on a mission, I'm giving you 2 for 20. Got grams going for 50. Putting that in my pockets, the nigga you bullshitting. What the fuck you ain't listen? I done told you I got to get. Nobody depending on me, so it's all mine. I ain't stressing out by myself, that's how it going down. My mama fighting her little dicks and she gon' be alright. Forever tweaking and begging, I put something up on the pipe. This is no fraction of my life, still all in for a lick. Looking for fatty, looking for niggas to tone mix. Start to lurking if I'm hurting, different side come out. That flip shit, stop the Jacob, Mr. High come out. Gonna be, you know how I played it all. That nigga burn it G.
Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel that we specialize in them grand champion yellow dogs. You know how you can go to a lot, and some places they specialize in fixing Hondas, some places specialize in fixing Benzes, some places specialize in fixing Porsches, you know. But over here we specialize in them yellow dogs. We know about them all, but we specialize in them yellow, you know. So today we're gonna talk more about them yellow dogs, man. And what we gonna do, you know, we just gonna get into detail, a little bit deep detail into this female right here on this video, um, and just talk about a little bit about that yellow stuff, man. What I want to do is I want to see if she has more yellow in her or polio in her, you know. And my question to start this conversation off with my brothers and sisters out there today: why are some of the Mayday dogs so long? You know, big salute to them brothers and sisters down in the chat and everybody watching the video, listen to the video from afar. Why are the Mayday dogs so long in modern day times? Some of them, not all of them, just some of them. You know, because see, yellow dogs were much more taller back in the 90s. You see, when the inbreeding was brought into the Mayday programs across the world, different people bred for different things. You know, but one thing about it, one thing I noticed, the Mayday dogs, as far as inbreeding, they can't take as much inbreeding as some of the other red boy Jocko strains and dogs, and that's because of their structure. You know, uh, my opinion, and like I said, this only pertains to some Mayday dogs. You know, uh, I feel like the dogs that got a lot of Lucane in them, or maybe some of the other more well structured Mayday dogs, you know, are producing the best structured Mayday dogs, you know. But my thing is when the inbreeding, start taking place, we all know you gain something sometime and you lose something, you know. And being over the years, 30 years of breeding, some of the Mayday dogs have got shorter. Now, if you're a 60-pound dog and you get shorter, you know, but you're still a 60-pound dog, then it's gonna make you look longer,
Let's go,
you
go.
know. And that's one thing I say about the Mayday dogs being bred so much across the world. There's so many different strains of the Mayday dogs. So many different strains, and all these brothers are breeding for different things, man. Everybody breeding for different things, and you know, uh, I had a Mayday dog back in the days named Log. I want to say his name was Loghead. He had a screwed up structure. His legs in the front was messed up. His he was long. He was short. He was shorter than this dog right here that y'all looking at on this video. She's not a real short dog. She actually has a good structure. When you look at her from another direction. But she does have her loneliness. And it just comes, like I said, inbreeding and breeding different dogs over time. You know, you start getting a smaller dog where a lot of people think you may lose bone. The Mayday dogs didn't lose bone structure with the inbreeding. They lost height with the inbreeding. That's the only thing I really see the fault of the Mayday dogs when it comes to inbreeding them. That's why I say they don't hold inbreeding as
Okay.
good as a lot of the other red boy Jocko dogs, you know, because that
Hey,
structure
puppy.
always. Now, if
Hey,
you have a
puppy.
dog with, a bad structure, good pedigree, and he may be a great acting dog,
Yeah.
and then
Good
you breed
girl.
it back with another dog with a
Hey, puppy.
screwed up structure, great pedigree, and maybe a great dog. In this case, you may be thinking you breeding great to great, best of the best. But when you get them puppies, they're gonna be all screwed up as far as their structure wise, you know. And structure plays a big part in being an all-around bulldog. You cannot be an all-around bull. Man, look at them teeth on that dog there. Look at them teeth on that dog there. You can't be an all-around bulldog if you know you got structure like Shorty Cowboy. Shorty Cowboy could have been a phenomenal dog. But what made him what why he couldn't be in the total all-around dog, in my opinion, is because of his legs. You know, now I got Mellow Yellow out walking her around. Like I said, she's about a month in. She's bred back to Fletcher. These are pure Big John, Little John dogs, pure Red Boy Jocko. Um, She'll be pretty good structured dogs. For the most part, I haven't really, throughout my years of dealing with the Big John dogs, I haven't seen a lot of bad structured dogs. Uh, I've seen a lot of things when it comes to them dogs, but bad structure isn't one of them. They be pretty well rounded when it comes to structure. One thing I have seen was bones get a little smaller. Where the Mayday dogs got
Let's go.
shorter, the Mayday dogs got shorter. The Big John dogs didn't get shorter. They just got smaller bones, smaller frames with their inbreeding. You know, um, for the most part, like I said about this litter, I'm not pressed on selling them. I'll sell a few of them, one or two of them, but for the most part, this is in house right here. This litter right here. Uh, This is, like I said, this is pure red boy Jocko going all the way, and we're gonna break these pedigrees down after we watch this video. But we going all the way back to all the way back to yellow, as y'all seen on some of the other videos. I say we go back to Mr. Mayfield, right? Like I said on the other video, we go back to Mr. Mayfield, and then you know how we do car owners, how many owners a car have? Okay, if we go all the way back to Mr. Mayfield, this dog only had 3 owners, including me. Nope. I'm gonna say Mr. Mayfield, Mr. Chavis, Big John, them. So I'll be the 4th owner of this car in the last 50 years. You know, not a lot of hands played with it. That's what I'm trying to say. When you got something, a lot of hands haven't been through it. I don't care what it is. It can be a bag of candy. Once a lot of hands play with it, what you got left? You know, that's what I'm talking about. All the way back to Mr. Mayfield. A lot of hands went in on this blood. I don't mean people didn't get their dogs and take them out and breed them the way they wanted to breed them since the 90s. Yeah, of course that been happening. But the main base is what I'm talking about. Meliello is coming from the main base. Now, what we gonna do, man, we gonna look at the pedigree of this first dog that we walked, which was BG. We're gonna look at her pedigree. Let me take some of this stuff off up here. Well, we good with that. All right. Now, what we trying to do is we trying to see, does she have more Red Boy Jocko in her, or does she have more Bolio in her? So in order to see this, I'm gonna go ahead and take that side piece off real quick. Okay. Now, what we gonna do is, like we always do, start in the 4th generation. We'll start from the bottom of the 4th. No, actually, we're gonna start from the top of the 4th because I know she got that buck in the bottom. So we'll start from the top of the 4th where we got Mayday. Okay, would we agree that Mayday is about a 50-50? Okay, we all know that Mayday is a 50-50. Okay, now we have Powerhouse Yellow Girl. Let's check Yellow Girl out. Now, Powerhouse Yellow Girl is coming off of Powerhouse's Deadlift, which is a yellow dog, Red Boy Jocko, no Bolio in it, bred back to Powerhouse's Miss Yellow, which is a Red Boy Jocko dog with no Bolio in it. So when we look at Powerhouse's Yellow Girl, top of the 4th right here that I'm circling, all Red Boy Jocko. So with Mayday 50-50 and Powerhouse's Yellow Girl, she's pure Red Boy Jocko. That takes the Bolio down a tad bit. That takes the Bolio down, you know. So right now we more Red Boy Jocko. Now let's go to Grand Champion Big Apple's Hunch. Now when we look at Hunch, you see the Mayday on the top, which will make him a 50-50 on the Mayday end. But then you see the little Tater dog and you see Bolio dogs on the bottom side, you know. So in my opinion, Hunch would be more of a Bolio Red Boy Jocko dog, you know, more of a Bolio Red Boy Jocko through Hollingsworth Poly. Okay, so now we even back up again. Now that Hunch came in and even that the Bolio back up, we just gonna say we even. And we may be a little off, but we just, estimating. Hunch bring it back, bring the Bolio back up, that makes it even again. Now we go to Southern Kennels Dolly Day. Dolly Day coming off Mayday on the top, which is the 50-50. Mo Bolio on the bottom. So we got Mo Bolio. So right now we leading in the Bolio with Southern Kennels Dolly Day. We leading in the Bolio. Now we come back to Mayday again, which is a 50-50, which makes the Bolio a little bit more stronger. Now we come to Yellow Girl, which I already did. But Yellow Girl is a pure Grand Champion Yellow dog, a pure Red Boy Jocko dog. So that's strengthening up the Red Boy Jocko again. So after Yellow Girl in the 4th generation, where I'm circling with the mouse, we pretty much at a 50-50 standstill right now. Then we come back to Mayday again. So we come back to Mayday while we at a 50-50 standstill. We come back to Mayday and we still at a 50-50 standstill because Mayday is a 50-50 dog. So he putting a little bit on both sides. So we still at a 50-50 standstill. Okay, now we come back to Yellow Girl, where that's more Red Boy Jocko. So the Red Boy Jocko, we're going to go back up to 75-25. We're just going to go back up to 75-25. Now we come down to Chico Lopez's Damien Rum. Now Damien, great looking dog there. Damien is off Mayday on the top, which is a 50-50, and Blondie and the Buck stuff on the bottom. So that's going to be, Damien's going to have more Bolio in him. Okay? So Damien evens out this Yellow Girl, this strong Red Boy Jocko that Yellow Girl just brought in. Damien evens that back out again, back to the Bolio side. Now let's look at Lady Dial. Southern Kennels Lady Dial. We got Mayday, which is our 50-50. And then we got Dragon Lady, which is Mayday's little mate sister. Dragon Lady. And we know that's his little mate because the breeding wasn't dead anymore. So right here we're going 50-50. So after we check out Southern Kennels Lady Doll, we still at a 50-50 dog with BG. She's still at a 50-50. Give or take. Like I said, we just estimating. But we're going and checking each dog and seeing what our percentages is in each dog. Now, after Lady Doll comes Ice Cream. Now, Ice Cream, he's got the yellow through the Gainish Jr. And he's got the best Apache, which is coming off more yellow stuff. Red Boy Jocko stuff. So let's say the Hollingsworth Dolly, Ice Day will be a 50-50 dog. Then we got the dog on the bottom side coming from the Hells on Earth bumper, which is a Red Boy Jocko. And let's see what this white lease or Wheatley's rifle coming down off. That's Red Boy Jocko. Okay. So this dog here is gonna be a higher percentage of Grand Champion Yellow and Red Boy Jocko, this Ice Cream dog. So that's gonna have us from a 50-50 Bolio Red Boy Jocko back to a 75% Red Boy Jocko dog after we leave the Ice Cream in the 4th generation. Now we see Lady Doll. Now we see Lady Doll, which I did just a second ago. But Lady Doll is 50-50, so that's not going to change anything. And we still a higher percentage of Red Boy Jocko, 75-25 right now. Now we go to Southern Kennels Ice Day. We still in the 4th generation. Southern Kennels Ice Day. Coming down off the Red Boy Jocko on the top through the best of Apache and the Bolio stuff on the bottom. So this is a Red Boy Jocko 50-50. This is a 50-50 dog coming into a 75-25 situation. He doesn't affect the situation. It still stays 75-25. Now let's look at the Nitros dog. We're at the third dog from the bottom of the fourth generation. Hell on Earth bumper. That's your red boy Jocko on the top. Your red boy Jocko through the Wheatley dog or Whiteley's dog. Now let's check this bottom dog, Whiteley's Ack. Red boy Jocko. Okay. So that's red boy Jocko. We stronger in the red boy Jocko. Now, let's get to these last two dogs. Let's get to these last two dogs because right now we stronger in the red boy Jocko. Now, these dogs right here, Jesse James Rod, Stone City Jesse James Rod. Now, let you look at this picture right here. Some brothers may not know what I'm talking about, but you see the stripes in that dog? You see the brindleness in that dog? That's exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about a lighter dog. A dog that's a lighter complexion, same red nose, lighter complexion with the same stripes in them. Now this dog here is coming off 357, which is coming down off the Buck stuff, which is Bolio. So this is a STP Buck, Nico Jr. So we got more of the Bolio on this side right here. Jesse James Rod bringing more Bolio to the table. Stonewall Kennels, Princess Buck. Whole lot of Bolio, whole lot of Buck in that fourth generation. Whole lot of Buck in that fourth generation, which brings Bolio. So this is where we at. After we did the nitrous dog, we was high on the red boy Jocko, and we had the Bolio in there strong, but we was way higher on the red boy Jocko. After this Jesse James Rod dog, it brought the Bolio back up, and with this Princess Buck dog, it bring the Bolio back up. So when I check every one of these pedigrees, you know, from the top to the bottom of the fourth generation, this dog is still about a 50-50 cross. And like I said, it's not exactly accurate, but we just went through every single dog in the fourth generation and did a quick analysis of it. And it's still at a 50-50 standstill, pretty much. You know. So anytime you see that barracuda in your pedigree, you know, you can count on a lot of red boy Jocko being in there compared to the Mayday stuff. Mayday brought that red boy Jocko and Bolio to the table, but Barracuda brought more red boy Jocko to the table. You know, you do take Mayday, which is a 50-50 cross, and he bred back the yellow girl, you know, and we already did the pedigree on yellow girl. She's coming down off Deadlift and Miss Yellow. You see Deadlift coming down off Tance Bob, and Tance Gladys. So them Barracuda dogs carry a heavier Red Boy Jocko presence than the Mayday dogs. Than the Mayday himself, rather. Sorry about that. You know, let me check out. Let me see if I can pull up Lou Kane real quick. Let me see if I can find Lou Kane. Uh, okay. Now this is Lou Kane. This is what I think is one of Mayday's best dogs as far as structure wise, as far as performance. This is one of Mayday's best dogs right here. Now, when we look at this pedigree, you see the Mayday bred Zua. Okay, she's off Deadlift as well, but Southern Kennels Linda. And if you look at Linda, she's coming off of Havana Boys' Rodney. You know who Rodney is? Rodney is off of Grand Champion Yellow. And then we see STP's John Boy at the very bottom. That's more Red Boy Jocko. Now, let me point something out because I spoke on Green Sandy on another video. Let me point something out with this dog right here, Green Sandy. Not only is she very important, like I said before, underrated, like I said before, but look at her pedigree. You know, she's off of Apples and Jocko. You know, brother and sister breeding. Now I will say this, you know, I'm looking at that pedigree that's up here. I thought Green Sandy was off of something else. That pedigree don't look familiar to me, but they say this pedigree was posted up in 2001. So I guess it is what it is. But Apples and Jocko is little mate brothers and sisters. You know, that's why I say, man, that Green Sandy dog is so important. No credit though. No credit. Luke Kane. Let's look at Luke Kane offspring. I'm just strolling down right now, see if it's any particular ones I want to click on. I click on this dog here. Let me see how they bred this dog. I'm just looking at how they bred them. This is a muscle shaft. No, muscle shaft. Red Boy Jocko. They brought the Luke Kane in with the Jeep on the bottom. Now, Luke Kane, Luke Kane got just as much Red Boy Jocko in him as Barracuda has in him. You know, now that I'm looking at the pedigree, Luke Kane has just as much as Red Boy Jocko as Barracuda has in him. You know, uh, oh, that's the only thing that Luke Kane got that Barracuda don't got. And like I always say, every single dog matters. Every single dog. You know, so this little bit at the very bottom right here, we're gonna check Luke Kane out because this might be a couple dogs in Luke Kane that I see that he may have. Okay, that Bonnie dog, and then no, we all Red Boy Jocko up until that, just that, you know. Yeah, we all Red Boy Jocko up until that kicks Bonnie dog. So Barracuda got more Red Boy Jocko in them than Mayday, but then sorry about that. Barracuda got more Red Boy Jocko than Mayday and Luke Kane, but Luke Kane got more Red Boy Jocko in him than Mayday. You know, and it used to be a VH cassette floating around back in the days, man, with Luke Kane them on it. And I had several VHs back in '90s with different dogs. I didn't even know who the dogs was at the time, and I'm not even sure. Now that I look back, they didn't even have no names exactly who the dogs was. It just had the dogs in the boxes, big brown dogs, you know. But yeah, man, just talking a little bit about these pets, and what the dog BG got in her. That's what I was talking about, the dog from the video, you know. And it all goes down to why the Mayday dogs shrunk in height but kept their length. Now, my question that go along with that, a final thought. Let me ask my brother something. You know, final thought. Now, when we look at say that red dog, that was on the video just a few seconds ago, BG. When we look at BG, the only thing that make you feel she's a Mayday dog is because you see she a little long. You know, other than that, she don't really got the Mayday traits. So my question to the brothers is, if you don't keep up with the and follow your line throughout the years, how do you know what these brothers were breeding for? You see, what if my pedigree is all Red Boy Jocko, a whole bunch of Mayday dogs, right? And we got a little bit of buck dogs in there, but all the breeders throughout the years, or the breeder throughout the years, he was breeding the dogs that had the buck traits. See, the dogs got the buck looking traits, and that's the way the breeder did it because he had a goal in mind. But when you, as a buyer, or how can we put it, one of them guys who just deep diving in on pedigrees, and you looking at the pedigrees, you like, oh, this is a Mayday dog, this is a Mayday dog, but you don't understand that the brother who did the breeding, he was going to hold, even though it's saying Mayday on them pedigrees, it's about the dogs you're getting. That dog got a Mayday pedigree, but the dog took the traits of the buck dog that's in the pedigree, you know, and he getting offspring from this dog that's looking just like these dogs. But the pedigree still say Mayday, but the offspring looking like buck. And that's what the breeder breeding for. And now when you get the dogs, you breeding for Mayday because that's what you're reading. Because you didn't follow up, you didn't get your research, you didn't do your research on the line, or just know the line that you running, you know, and then you get different results. You know what I'm saying? You like, oh, look at this Mayday ped. Miss Mayday ped should go good with that ped. But every dog in that ped, or at least a majority of the dogs in that ped, was bred by the owner, the first owner, to keep the buck traits the way he wanted them buck traits. So now you're wondering why you see so much Mayday in the dogs, and you see one or two buck dogs way in the back, one or two buck dogs, and you wonder how your dog look like buck or the buck dogs in 2025, and your whole pedigree say Mayday or Barracuda. You know, and all this can be settled by just doing research on the line you running, following the line you running, keeping up with the breeding program itself, what kind of dogs coming out, how these dogs looking, how these dogs acting. That's all part of the game, man. All part of the game. But like I said, I just wanted to talk a little bit about them yellow dogs, man. Um, touch on BG pedigree. So we could have seen, like I said, how much Red Boy Jocko and Bolio was in it. And we got our answer. We still at a 50-50 standstill. So y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal out there. And remember where you got it from first. PBK9s, Dog Talking News, and we out.